Before the success stories, the progress, there was you. You who made a choice to grow, to inspire, to overcome your own challenges. At NASM, we're in service of your limitless potential because when you keep growing, we all get stronger, and we'll never stop making your journey our mission. Join the fitness leader. Become a fitness leader. Become a certified personal trainer.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today I want to talk a little bit about how maybe you could potentially build some clients. I like the idea of building clients. I like the idea of making some more money, but the problem is, and you've heard it before, sometimes you got to what? You have to spend money to make money. Sometimes you got to spend money to find new clients, and it's not always the hardest thing. It's not always the most expensive thing. But it is something that's going to have to come out of your pocket. This is important. We understand this as business owners and people that have a brick and mortar business. Well, what do I spend money on? I spend money on rent, and I spend money on Wi-Fi, and I spend money on laundry services, and I have utilities and electricity, which cost a fortune to keep the place cool and keep the place warm. And you kind of go through this list of things that you spend money, and then you have to make enough money to pay for that and to pay for your life in addition to that. Well, a lot of times personal trainers love this idea of I've got clients and I'm going to work with my clients, but I'm not going to spend any more money to get new clients and to build kind of a following and people who are on a waiting list that want to potentially train with me. And there's no way that you're creating exposure. And the problem is that once you have clients that fall off, you've got nobody there ready to join you. So what do we do? How do we actually spend money to make money? Well, what are some of the simplest ways that you can do it? One is it's real easy. You start to get your chatty individual and you just start meeting people. And this is not for everybody, but certainly when you see people out there and you're at line at a coffee shop and they're talking about going to a yoga class and going to exercise and doing an adventure race or something like that. And you just kind of jump in there in a conversation. Hey there, I heard you talking about this. What do you do? Tell me more about it. You say, well, listen, I'm a personal trainer, and I think what you're doing is incredible. And usually you don't have to really sell yourself. If they're interested, people love to talk to personal trainers about being personal trainers. So they'll oftentimes ask you, whoa, personal trainer, what do you do? Where do you work? What kind of training do you do? Tell me more about what you do, and maybe you can help me. And then maybe somebody overhears y'all talking. All right. How do you spend money in that situation in order to continue conversation? Well, number one is you could get some business cards. And I don't think many people have business cards as much as they used to. I know that somebody gave me a business card the other day, and it was the first time in a long time where I was like, man, I haven't had business cards in ages, and I can't give you a card back. What is more important to me is not whether or not I have their business card. It is whether or not whether or not they have my business card. It's whether or not I have their business card or their contact information. It is just very nice if you're going to receive a business card from somebody that you can reciprocate that, even though it may be relatively unnecessary. It is also a low dollar spend to make that purchase and to create that share. And some people get out of control. I've had people give me metal business cards. I've had some thick cardstock cards. I've had some really textured ones. And I don't know where any of those are. And I don't know who any of those people are anymore. right? So one of the things that people do is you want to be memorable, you get a very nice card, but if they want to communicate with you, they're going to remember the story behind it. That you're a personal trainer, that you are somebody that can help them with their goals. Let me know if you know anybody that might be interested in working with the trainer. I'd be happy to help out, that kind of stuff. Then having that card in pocket is very good. More importantly, less about spending the money is making sure you get their information so you can send them a follow-up. Some of the things I see from trainers in my gym is they get shirts made. I like the shirts. They'll say, their business name, some kind of fitness. They'll put personal trainer on there. And so just when they're walking down the street, and, New York City is a lot more walking than there is driving. So that could potentially even be something that goes on your vehicle. I know. As my daughter would say, it's super cringe. But that is something that you could consider, and it would not cost a lot of money. You can also get little tchotchkes made, like pins and so forth, that just have your information. Just give out those pins with your website, and that would be really helpful. Oh, can we jump ahead in the list then? Pins with your what? What was that? Your website. Website is not what it used to be for us because we communicate through so much through social media. What was social media? We'll get there. We'll get to social media. However, a website is a significant landing page. And when people are looking for personal trainers, they don't tend to go to Instagram to find the personal trainers. They tend to go to where it's big, starts with a G, ends with Google. Yes. Yeah. Google. They're going to Google that. They're going to find out through Google where to go. You also want to set that up in your maps. And a lot of the stuff to set up to get the SEO with Google is free. But what's not free, and actually sometimes they can be, it just depends on what you do with it, is that you can get some real low cost websites. They don't have to cost you a fortune, but getting one simply to be present for searchability. And you can get kind of a website that makes it easier for you to use. And they allow you here, this is where you upload a picture. This is where you put your information. I always say, try to say less on a website because they're not going to go through and want to read. They want what they want and they'll move on. And it's like people, even in social media, something looks like it's going to catch my attention. You take too long to get to the point, I'm moving on. Same thing goes with Google. So get to the point on your website so you can spend a little money on the website. Create a website so that you have some search engine optimization. When people Google personal trainers, then they are more likely to find you. I think you could also do things like spend money on park permits. So in cities, almost every municipal park requires a permit for you to do your workouts there. So if you're making money on the city's land, then the city wants a piece of it. So getting a park permit, which usually does not cost very much, and you can get a permit, and then that's advertising because you're doing outside training. Well, the outside training might not be your bag. It might not be the thing that you go to the most. But right now, the time of year where I'm recording, it is mild. It is late spring. And this is the time where working outside can be the most comfortable. Where I am, I know that some people, ain't got what we've got here. But some people, if you're in Phoenix, you might be in the blazing sun already this time of year. So working out during other times of year outside, even if it's just once a week, that says I'm going to host a class. I'm a personal trainer, but I'm going to host a class. And that class is a great way to market because when you do that, you spend money on that permit, then everybody is going to be like, all right, we've got some footage of this workout and you record it, you put it on your social, you tag as many people that came to the workout as possible so that they share it. Oh, what was that? Recording it. You can bring somebody in that's just doing favors, or you can pay somebody to come in and record. This is me doing training sessions. This is me doing clips. This is me doing workouts. with my clients and my classes, and I'm getting a good, high quality video of what's going on, and maybe get somebody also to edit it where it looks sharp and smooth, and people sharp and smooth. How is that possible? Both sharp and smooth. All right. And so that way, people are interested in what you're doing because the quality of what you're putting out there, and you can pay for that quality. You can pay for that, put that out there, and you can find ways to do it where it's not as expensive as maybe hiring just a straight up professional photographer and editor, or cinematographer and editor. There are a lot of very skilled people out there that would be able to help you out. And I generally say, if you have a college or university close by and they have like a photography class and a group, then finding out who that professor is and see if they have any students that might be interested in doing some work. And they might request that the students don't charge anything, and maybe you tip them, or they might just say, hey, I'm posting this, and anybody in the commons area that sees it wants to do it, then there's an opportunity to make some money. All right. So we talked about briefly that the importance of social media, but getting good quality photos and videos on your social media is nice. Putting quality information out there is also good, but also reaching people beyond those that follow you. And the chances are that even if you put out information, you are so lost in the algorithm. Like that, I follow, I'm sure, thousands of people and businesses, and I see just as many pop-ups on my Instagram when I scroll through it of people I don't follow as people that I do follow. And there are some people I follow, I'll never see their accounts, and they can post regularly. It's just I won't see it because either they are lost in my algorithm and I don't see it, or it's just the time of day that they post, and when I'm there and I don't see it. But in order for you to be more seen, you can actually spend money and drive people to your page. All right. So the best way to do it initially, especially if you don't have a website yet, is to drive people to your page. Now, Instagram doesn't like to drive people to your website as much. So there's something that will be lost there. And the reason is they don't want people to leave Instagram. They want people to stay on Instagram or whatever social media platform you're on. So they don't want to drive people away from it. But you can drive people to your website, or you can drive them to your page, and your page has your website at the top of it. You can spend money to do outreach for people looking for personal trainers. And then you can put together a nice little clip of you talking and inviting people to see if you can help solve problems for them, because that's what they want. They want people that can help them solve the problem they're looking to solve. I also think, and we've mentioned this before, but joining a networking groups aren't usually free. They have administrative costs. They rent usually some type of conference room where they meet maybe once a week. And being part of a networking group, it can be so valuable. The problem is that it oftentimes takes place before work, which is when personal trainers tend to work. There's a networking group I would have loved to have joined. They meet at 7:30 a.m. on Thursdays, I believe, but I'm doing a lot of work at that time, so that makes it difficult for me to be a part of it. But that's a great opportunity for one trainer to do it, because they will only let one of each profession into a single networking group, and that way, whenever somebody is looking for a fitness professional or guidance or help, then people within the networking group seek you. All right. And then finally, I like to find a fitness advertiser of some sort. So sometimes there are people that advertise specifically for fitness and for personal trainers. So for instance, there's a website in New York, in the greater New York area, called Neighborhood Trainers. And Glenn Dickstein runs that. And he just posts, and you pay him to be on that website. And then he tries to get people to come to his page to find personal trainers. But he also is trying to find personal trainers that can be on the website. So there are opportunities for fitness professionals to be posted on a website of personal trainers that show your skill set, what you focus on, what neighborhoods you train in. Here's the zip codes that I work at. If you can find something similar to that where you are, then that could be really helpful. But I do want to say this, and I want to say this in closing because I think it's important, because the biggest issue most trainers have isn't spending money. It's spending time to do the work. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be the photographer. I'm saying you've got to put in work. And we don't mind training, but when it comes to getting new clients, to spending time outside of the training session, putting together my programming, and then doing outreach and putting together content for the website, because people are going to put together content for the website. You might have a web developer, but you got to tell them what to say, and they are going to tap you on the shoulder and tap you on the shoulder and tap you on the shoulder. And the fitness folks are the worst because they're not used to sitting down and writing stuff out. They just want to do. Can I get up and do in fitness and go to the gym and let me find something else to do besides the work that needs to be done? The problem isn't spending the money. It is spending the time to do the work. And you got to find the right people that are going to help you help yourself. And that's important. It's like training. People don't mind spending a lot of money for a personal trainer. The problem is, as a trainer, are you making them put in the work? Are you putting together the programming that's making them work? Because it's easy for some people to throw $100, $200 at a problem a couple times a week. Some people can do that. But just because you throw money at it doesn't mean it gets you closer to your goal. Because just putting money towards a problem doesn't mean you put in the work to solving the problem. Be a problem solver and wise with how you spend your money. Now, certainly not an exhaustive list on how to spend money, but ideas of where you may want to start, because you may not be spending money on developing your own business and building your own business. But you're also probably not doing the work to make that happen. You got to put in the work and then wisely spend the money on how to maximize and stretch your dollar. All right. Hope this helps. And if it does, like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family. And if you got questions for me, hit me up. You can hit me up on Instagram via DM at dr.rickrichey or email me rick.richey@nasm.org. Thanks for listening. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. This has been the NASM-CPT Podcast.